The first lights appeared over Texas on a quiet summer morning. People thought it was a meteor shower. The sky was dark blue, the air warm, and everything felt normal until the lights stopped moving. They hung there still, glowing, and silent. 1, 2, 10, then hundreds of them. Not stars. Not planes. Not anything anyone had ever seen before. Captain Ryan Hayes, an Air Force pilot, stood outside the base near San Antonio, staring at the sky. He had seen meteors before. He had chased enemy jets. But nothing in his life had ever made him feel this kind of fear. His radio crackled. Base command to all units. Unknown objects detected. Hold positions. The lights began to move again, but not down, not up. They changed direction in perfect sync, like a single creature made of 100 eyes. Ryan whispered, "That's no meteor shower." Minutes later, every TV, phone, and computer screen in America flickered on. The same message appeared everywhere, even on devices that were turned off. "You are primitive. We will correct you." No voice. No face. Just those words, calm, cold, and final. People panicked. Some thought it was a government experiment. Some said it was a hacker attack. But when power grids failed, when satellites stopped responding, when planes fell from the sky like dying birds, people understood. They weren't alone. And whoever was up there wasn't friendly. By evening, the lights had grown larger. They weren't lights anymore, they were ships. Massive, silver, and silent, floating above cities like New York, Los Angeles, London, and Tokyo. Ryan and his team scrambled their jets, but their controls went dead before they even reached the runway. The alien ships didn't fire a single shot, but every human machine simply stopped working. Cars froze on highways. Phones went black. Hospitals went dark. It was as if the entire planet had been turned off. Ryan met Dr. Emily Carter that night. She was a scientist working with the Air Force on signal tracking. Her hands were shaking, but her voice stayed calm. "They're not jamming us," she said. "They're controlling everything. Even our power systems." Ryan frowned. "That's not possible." Emily looked at him. "Then explain what's happening." In the command center, a huge holographic map showed glowing red points, the alien ships. They were positioned perfectly over every major human base. It wasn't random. It was strategic. Ryan clenched his fists. "They studied us. They knew where to hit." Then something stranger happened. A blue light appeared in the control room, hovering near Ryan. It wasn't a hologram. It was real, floating inches from his face. Everyone stepped back. The light shifted shape until it looked like a small silver drone, smooth, round, and alive. Ryan raised his weapon. "Don't move," he said, though the command sounded foolish. The drone turned toward him. It scanned his face with a thin red beam, and then a voice came, clear and emotionless. "Captain Ryan Hayes. You will not interfere." Ryan froze. His name. It knew his name. "How do you know me?" he shouted. The drone didn't answer. It simply rose higher, pulsing with blue light, and then vanished straight through the ceiling, leaving no hole, no sound, nothing. The room went silent. Everyone looked at Ryan as if he had just spoken to a god. Emily broke the silence. "They know who you are." Ryan turned toward her. "Then they know what's coming." But deep down, he wasn't sure what could come next. By the next morning, governments around the world tried to communicate with the aliens. Every message was ignored. Every attempt to attack failed. Missiles exploded in the air before reaching their targets. And then, once again, every screen on Earth came alive. This time, there was a face, silver skin, long black eyes, no mouth. The alien spoke in a voice that sounded like 1,000 whispers mixed together. "We are the Serath. You are violent, divided, and dangerous. Your world is broken. We will fix it." Ryan watched from the base control room. The alien face stared straight into the camera, as if it could see through every screen on Earth. "You will not resist," the alien continued. "You will be made better." The feed ended. Silence. Then screaming, panic, chaos. Across the world, power grids shut down completely. The internet was gone. Planes crashed. Ships sank. The human world fell dark in one night. Ryan looked at the dead monitors. We just lost Earth, he whispered. Hours later, Ryan sat alone outside the base. The night sky glowed faintly blue from the alien ships above. He could see the reflection of their light in the river nearby. It was quiet, too quiet. Then, he heard footsteps. Emily approached, holding a small radio. Some people are still fighting, she said softly. Small groups, trying to survive. They're calling it the Resistance. Ryan looked up at the ships. Resistance? Against that? Emily nodded. We don't have a choice. Ryan took a deep breath. The air smelled like rain and smoke. He stood up slowly, watching the alien ships hang over the horizon like a second moon. If they think we're primitive, he said, they're about to learn what that really means. The wind blew cold across the empty base. Somewhere above, one of the ships shifted as if it was watching him. A faint red beam traced across the ground and landed on Ryan's chest. The same metallic voice echoed again, low, calm, and close. You cannot hide from us. Ryan looked up, defiant. We'll see about that. The beam faded. The ship vanished into the clouds. But Ryan knew this was only the beginning. And for the first time in human history, the sky was not ours anymore. The world did not end that night. It just changed. By morning, every city on Earth looked different. The alien ships still floated above, quiet and bright, like silver clouds that never moved. But below them, human life was falling apart. Cars no longer worked. Electricity was gone. Airplanes, computers, and weapons all dead. Hospitals ran out of power. Food started to spoil. People panicked in the streets. The aliens had not fired a single shot. They didn't need to. Captain Ryan Hayes and Dr. Emily Carter were still at the abandoned Air Force Base in Texas. The base was silent now, the only sound the wind pushing through broken windows. Ryan looked out at the sky. 3 days, he said. And not a word from command. Emily sat near a flickering lantern. There is no command anymore. The networks are gone. They made sure we can't talk to each other. Ryan's jaw tightened. They want us divided. Emily nodded. It's working. Outside, in the distance, they could see glowing towers growing from the ground, strange alien structures, tall and alive, pulsing with blue light. They looked like glass trees, spreading across the land. What are those things? Ryan asked. Emily adjusted her glasses. I think they're building something. Or, changing something. Ryan turned to her. Changing what? She looked at him, her face pale in the blue glow. Us. That night, a group of survivors arrived at the base, 5 men and 2 women. They were tired, dirty, and scared. Their leader was Marcus Reed, a former mechanic from Dallas. He carried a backpack filled with tools and wires. You military? He asked Ryan. Used to be, Ryan replied. What happened out there? Marcus sighed. Cities are falling apart. No power, no law, no help. But the aliens aren't killing people. They're just watching. Emily stepped forward. Watching for what? Marcus hesitated. They take people sometimes. Big silver drones come down, scan whole groups, then vanish with a few of them. No one knows where they go. Ryan's stomach turned. They're studying us. Marcus shook his head. Feels more like they're choosing who gets to stay. Days passed. The base became a small camp for survivors. Ryan trained people to defend themselves using old weapons that didn't rely on tech. Emily studied strange energy patterns in the air. One morning, Emily ran into Ryan's room, holding a notebook filled with numbers. Ryan, I found something, she said. She placed a radio device on the table, an old one, built before digital systems. This still works, she explained. I've been scanning the alien frequency. They're using sound waves, not data. And I think, they're sending commands to our environment. Ryan frowned. What kind of commands? Emily hesitated. To rewrite biology. Ryan blinked. Rewrite what? Living things. DNA. They're sending signals that can change cells. Plants, animals, maybe humans. Ryan stared at her. You're saying they're trying to reprogram us? Emily nodded slowly. Yes. They're not just taking control of machines. They're trying to control life itself. That night, the group heard a strange humming outside the base. The sound was low and deep, like thunder under the ground. Marcus grabbed his old shotgun. "They're here." Everyone ran outside. Above them, a small alien drone was floating round and glowing blue. It moved silently, scanning the area. Emily whispered, "It's searching for something." The drone turned, and a red light focused on Ryan again. "Captain Ryan Hayes," the same cold voice said. "You continue to resist correction. This is not allowed." Ryan lifted his rifle. "Come and stop me." The drone pulsed once. A beam of blue light shot into the ground, and the base lights flickered to life even though power had been gone for days. Then, screens inside the control room turned on by themselves, showing alien symbols and strange diagrams of human bodies. Emily shouted, "Ryan, don't shoot. It's transmitting something." Ryan lowered the weapon slightly. The screens changed again, now showing images of human faces, thousands of them, glowing with patterns of light inside their skin. Emily gasped. "Those are neural maps, brain scans." Ryan's voice was quiet. "They've been mapping us. Every thought, every move." The drone suddenly powered down and fell to the ground. Smoke rose from its surface. Marcus smirked. "Guess they're not perfect." Emily ran to the fallen drone and pulled a small cube from its center. The cube was still glowing faintly. "What's that?" Ryan asked. Emily held it up. "A data core. If I can decode this, maybe we'll understand what they're doing." For 2 days, Emily worked non-stop. She barely slept, surrounded by notes and wires. Ryan and Marcus guarded the base, watching the sky. On the third night, Emily finally called them in. Her face was pale, her eyes red from no sleep. "I did it," she said softly. "I decoded part of the message." Ryan leaned closer. "What does it say?" Emily took a deep breath. "It says the Seraph are cleansing primitive species. They believe humans are broken because we fight, pollute, and destroy our own planet. They think they're helping us by changing our DNA by removing what they call aggression patterns." Marcus frowned. "They're turning us into pets." Emily nodded slowly. "Worse. They're turning us into them." Ryan's hand clenched into a fist. "They said they came to fix us. But they're trying to erase us." Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. A new ship appeared larger than the others, descending slowly toward the Earth. Its light spread across the base, blinding them all for a moment. Emily covered her eyes. "Ryan, that ship, it's landing." Ryan grabbed his weapon and looked at his team. "Then we're going to give them a welcome they'll never forget." The ground shook as the alien ship touched down miles away, its blue light spreading across the horizon. The message was clear. The Seraph had begun their correction. And humanity was running out of time. The alien ship that landed outside Texas didn't attack. It just sat there tall, silent, and glowing. The ground around it turned silver, as if the Earth itself was changing. Captain Ryan Hayes watched through his binoculars. His team hid inside an old highway tunnel, half buried in dirt and vines. The air was cold and dry. "They're spreading," said Marcus Reed, gripping his rifle. "Every time one of their ships lands, the ground dies." Ryan lowered the binoculars. "It's not dying. It's becoming something else." Dr. Emily Carter looked up from her small radio setup. "They're converting everything, metal, stone, even soil, into something biological. I think they're making the planet like their own." Ryan frowned. "You mean, terraforming?" Emily nodded. "Yes. But they're doing it faster than anything I've ever seen." The hum of the alien ship echoed across the desert like a heartbeat. The sky glowed pale blue all night. By morning, Ryan's group decided to move. The alien patrols were getting closer. They headed north toward the Colorado mountains, hoping to find shelter. The roads were broken, full of abandoned cars. Towns were empty. Sometimes they saw strange lights in the distance, alien drones scanning the ground, searching for survivors. On the third night, they reached an old military checkpoint. A half-burned sign read, "Project Dawn Restricted Area." Marcus whistled. "Never heard of it?" Ryan looked uneasy. "It was classified. A black project. My unit only heard rumors." Emily wiped dust from her face. "Well, if it's still standing, we might find something useful." They climbed through a collapsed tunnel and followed a narrow passage underground. It led to a large metal door covered in dust. Ryan pressed his hand against it, nothing. Marcus connected some wires, sparked a small generator, and after a moment, the door slowly opened with a heavy hiss. Behind it, lights flickered on one by one. They were inside a secret underground base. The facility was old but still running on backup power. They passed long hallways filled with broken computers and empty rooms. Then, they heard footsteps. "Hold your fire," a voice shouted. Ryan raised his gun. "Show yourself." From the shadows, 3 people stepped out armed, cautious, and wearing tattered uniforms. The leader was a woman with short dark hair and sharp eyes. "I'm Colonel Sarah Holt," she said. "Who are you?" "Captain Ryan Hayes." U.S. Air Force, Ryan replied. Sarah lowered her weapon slightly. "You're lucky you found this place. Not many do." Inside a briefing room, Sarah told them the truth. Project Dawn wasn't a normal military project. It had been created years ago to study alien signals found in deep space. The government kept it secret, Sarah said. They found alien wreckage in Antarctica 50 years ago, long before this invasion. They knew something was coming. Emily's eyes widened. "You mean they've been here before?" Sarah nodded. "Yes. We recovered dead Seraph bodies. Scientists experimented on them for years. They wanted to learn their technology." Ryan leaned forward. "And now the Seraph came back for revenge." Sarah's face was hard. "Exactly. She led them to a locked room filled with strange machines, alien and human tech fused together. In the center stood a large crystal-like device glowing faintly blue." Emily stared at it. "That's Seraph tech. But, it's reacting to the air." Sarah crossed her arms. "We've been trying to activate it for months. It only responds to organic matter, to DNA." Ryan stepped closer, curiosity pulling him forward. "What kind of DNA?" "Human," Sarah replied. Before anyone could stop him, Ryan reached out and touched the device. It lit up instantly. A beam of light shot out, wrapping around him. Marcus shouted, "Ryan!" But Ryan didn't move. His eyes were glowing blue. For a few seconds, his mind filled with images: war, fire, alien cities burning under strange suns. He saw the Seraph not as invaders, but as refugees. When the light faded, Ryan fell to his knees, breathing hard. Emily grabbed his shoulders. "Ryan, what did you see?" He looked up at her, eyes still shining faintly. "They were here, before us," he whispered. "Earth was their home once. They built this world before humans existed. Then something destroyed them." Marcus frowned. "So, we're living on their planet?" Ryan nodded. "And now they've come back to take it?" The room went silent. Everyone stared at the glowing device. Later that night, Sarah called Ryan into the control room. On a large screen, they watched a map of Earth. Red dots showed the alien ships spreading across continents. Sarah said, "We've been tracking their expansion. At this rate, in 2 weeks, there will be no human zones left." Ryan looked at the map, his jaw tight. "Then we have 2 weeks to stop them." Emily entered holding a small data drive. "That crystal device, it didn't just show you memories. It uploaded something into you. Your body is reacting to their tech now." Ryan blinked. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying, you can connect to their network," Emily said. "You might be able to hear them." Ryan felt a chill. "Hear them?" "Yes. Their communication isn't just sound or signal. It's biological, mind to mind. And now, part of you speaks their language." Ryan stood silent for a moment. He could already feel something strange inside him, a faint hum in his head, like whispers underwater. Marcus broke the silence. "So what now? You're part alien." Ryan looked up at the ceiling. "No. But maybe that's exactly what we need." Suddenly, alarms blared across the base. Sarah turned to the monitors. Alien drones were approaching fast. "They found us," she yelled. Ryan grabbed his rifle. "Get everyone underground." Emily pulled the glowing crystal from its stand. "We can't let them take this." Marcus and the soldiers ran to the entrance, firing at the drones that poured through the tunnel. Blue light filled the air, blinding flashes against the concrete walls. Ryan turned to Emily. "If I can connect to their network, Maybe I can shut them down. Emily hesitated. It could kill you. Ryan smiled faintly. Then let's make it worth it. He touched the crystal again, and the base filled with blue light. The alien voices roared inside his mind, strange, powerful, endless. And through the noise, he heard one clear sentence. Welcome home, Serathborn. Ryan's eyes widened. He wasn't just connected. He was chosen. The underground base shook like thunder. Alien drones were breaking through the tunnels, their blue lights flashing like lightning in the dark. Sparks flew from broken walls. Alarms screamed. Captain Ryan Hayes stood in the middle of the chaos, still holding the glowing crystal. His eyes glowed faint blue. He could hear them, the Serath speaking inside his mind. Their voices echoed. You belong to us. Stop resisting. Ryan gritted his teeth. Not a chance. He focused on the hum in his head. Suddenly, one of the alien drones stopped moving, frozen midair. Another dropped to the ground, its lights fading. Dr. Emily Carter stared. Ryan, you're controlling them. I'm trying, he said, his voice strained. But there are too many. Colonel Sarah Holt shouted orders as soldiers fired their old rifles and grenades. The alien drones exploded in bursts of blue fire, but more kept coming. Marcus Reed ran in with a damaged weapon. They're swarming the east tunnel. We need to fall back. Ryan dropped the crystal into a backpack. No, we hold the line. If they get this base, the resistance dies here. Sarah nodded. Then we fight. The battle lasted for hours. When the last drone fell, silence returned, heavy and cold. The base was half destroyed, walls cracked, smoke everywhere. Emily checked Ryan's pulse. You almost burned your brain. That connection is killing you. Ryan wiped blood from his forehead. Then I'll die fighting. Sarah placed a hand on his shoulder. You're not dying yet, Captain. We need you. 2 days later, the survivors repaired what they could. The radio came alive with new voices, more resistance groups across the country. Project Dawn wasn't alone anymore. Sarah smiled for the first time in weeks. Looks like we're not extinct yet. Ryan nodded. It's time to hit back. Marcus grinned. About damn time. Emily spread a rough map across the table. Their main command ship is over Denver. It's sending signals to control all Serath tech on Earth. If we destroy it, we cut their network. Ryan stared at the map. What's guarding it? Emily hesitated. Everything. That night, the resistance prepared for war. They had no working jets, no satellites, no modern weapons. So Marcus built what he called Frankenbombs, half human, half alien tech. Dangerous, unstable, but powerful. Ryan inspected one. Will these even work? Marcus smirked. They'll either save the world or blow it up. 50-50. Sarah handed Ryan a headset. You'll lead the ground team. We'll go in silent, strike the ship's power core, and get out fast. Ryan looked at Emily. What about the connection? Can I use it to disable their defenses? Emily nodded slowly. Maybe. But the more you use it, the more it changes you. Ryan looked at his glowing hands. Then let it change me. They moved out before dawn. The sky was filled with silver clouds, the reflection of the massive alien ship hovering over Denver like a mountain of light. The city below was gone, replaced by glowing towers and smooth silver streets. The air hummed with energy. Sarah whispered, they've turned the whole city into a machine. Ryan nodded. Then we pull the plug. They approached through the ruins, hiding from patrol drones. Emily carried the crystal in a metal case. Marcus carried the bomb. When they reached the base of the ship, the ground rippled like liquid metal. A bright tunnel opened in front of them. It's like it's inviting us in, Marcus muttered. Ryan stepped forward. Good. Let's accept the invitation. Inside, the ship was alive, walls pulsing like veins, floors glowing under their boots. The air smelled clean, almost too clean. Emily studied the walls. This isn't metal. It's organic. Ryan touched it. The hum in his head grew louder. He could hear the Serath whispering again. You cannot win. You destroy yourselves. We only bring order. Ryan clenched his fists. Your order means death. They reached a massive chamber, the core. A swirling sphere of blue light floated in the air, surrounded by alien machines. Marcus dropped his pack. All right, time to give them a taste of human creativity. He started setting the bomb, wires crossing and lights blinking. Emily worked on the alien console, trying to disable shields. Ryan stood guard, listening to the growing hum. The Seraph knew they were here. A voice filled the room, smooth and powerful. You, Captain Hayes, carry our code. You are one of us now. A tall silver figure appeared, the Seraph leader, Varen. His eyes glowed like stars. Ryan raised his weapon. You're not my kind. Varen tilted his head. We created your kind. Humans were born from our experiments. You are our legacy, our mistake. Emily froze, her hands shaking. Ryan, if that's true. Ryan interrupted, voice firm. Maybe you made us, but you don't own us. Varen extended a hand. Join us. End the chaos. We will rebuild your world in peace. Ryan looked around at Emily, at Marcus, at the half-dead city beyond the walls. Then he smiled coldly. Peace without freedom isn't peace. He pressed the detonator. A blinding flash filled the chamber. The core exploded, throwing everyone backward. The alien ship screamed like a living creature. Ryan saw Varen dissolve into light, his voice fading into static. You cannot destroy perfection. The explosion tore through the ship. The blast reached the sky, a massive blue fireball lighting up the horizon. Ryan woke up hours later on the ground outside Denver. The alien ship was gone, only a crater remained. The air was quiet. Emily was beside him, alive but weak. Marcus limped over, coughing smoke. Guess the bomb worked. Ryan looked up at the stars. For the first time in weeks, the sky was dark. No alien lights. No hum. Just silence. Sarah's voice came through the radio. Ryan, we did it. The ships are falling worldwide. Ryan smiled faintly. Told you we'd pull the plug. But as he stood, Emily noticed something in his eyes, a faint blue glow that didn't fade. Ryan, she whispered, it's not over, is it? He looked at his hands. The glow was spreading under his skin. No, he said quietly. It's just changing. That night, humanity celebrated its first victory. The Seraph network was broken. The ships crashed or vanished. But Ryan Hayes couldn't sleep. In the dark, he still heard the whispers. You think you won. But evolution never stops. He stared at the reflection of his glowing eyes in the window. Half human. Half something else. And he wondered. Had they saved Earth? Or become what they were fighting against? The war ended in silence. After the final explosion over Denver, the alien ships stopped moving. One by one, they lost power and fell from the sky like dying stars. Some crashed into oceans, some burned in the atmosphere, and some just vanished into thin air as if they had never existed. For the first time in months, the world was quiet. No hum. No lights. No alien voices in the sky. But Earth was not the same. Cities lay in ruins. Fields were burned. The air smelled of smoke and ash. Humanity had won, but it didn't feel like victory. Captain Ryan Hayes walked through the remains of Denver, his boots crunching against silver dust. The ground still shimmered faintly with alien residue. The city looked half human, half alien. Buildings melted into strange, smooth shapes. Trees grew blue leaves that glowed at night. Rivers shined with light that wasn't natural. Dr. Emily Carter followed behind him, scanning the air with a small device. This whole area is full of alien energy, she said softly. It's changing the environment. Ryan nodded. Yeah. I can feel it. His eyes glowed faintly blue in the sunlight. He tried to hide it, but Emily noticed. It's getting stronger, isn't it? She asked. Ryan looked at his hands. Small patterns of blue light moved under his skin, like veins of energy. He sighed. Every day. Weeks passed. Survivors came out from hiding. People rebuilt small towns, using whatever they could find. Without technology, life became simple again: candles, tools, gardens. But there was hope. The radio stations returned, powered by old generators. Voices began to speak again, across countries and continents. Colonel Sarah Holt led the largest survivor camp near Colorado Springs. She called it New Dawn Base, a name that gave people strength. When Ryan and Emily arrived there, everyone stopped and stared. Ryan was a legend now, the man who destroyed the Seraph command ship. But when they saw his glowing eyes, they also whispered in fear. Inside the command tent, Sarah smiled when she saw him. "Captain Hayes," she said, shaking his hand. "You're still alive." "Barely," Ryan replied. Emily placed a tablet on the table. "We've been monitoring radiation levels and strange readings from the fallen ships. There's something else happening." Sarah frowned. "Something else?" Emily nodded. "People. Some survivors are changing. Their blood has alien energy in it. They can sense things before they happen. Some can even heal faster." Sarah leaned back, uneasy. "So the Seraph didn't just invade us. They left part of themselves behind." Ryan looked at his reflection in a metal surface. "They called us primitive," he said quietly. "Maybe they were trying to make us more like them." That night, Ryan stood outside the camp, watching the stars. For weeks, he had been hearing faint whispers, distant, like radio static in his mind. Sometimes they said nothing. Sometimes they said his name. He didn't tell anyone. Not even Emily. The wind blew softly through the dark hills. Then, suddenly, the sky flashed once, a streak of blue light across the horizon. Emily ran out of her tent. "Ryan. Did you see that?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah. I saw it." The blue streak wasn't a meteor. It was a signal, faint, repeating, and rhythmic. Emily's voice shook. "That's Seraph code." Ryan turned to her. "They're alive." Inside the lab tent, Emily replayed the signal. It repeated every minute, 3 short pulses, 1 long. When she translated it, the message was simple. "We are coming home." Ryan's heart sank. "They're not gone. That explosion didn't kill them all." Emily looked terrified. "It could be a rescue fleet. They might think the planet still belongs to them." Sarah entered, holding a map. "Then we prepare again. But this time, we won't be caught off guard." Ryan clenched his fists. "We'll fight them again if we have to. But this time, maybe we fight as equals." Days later, Ryan climbed the highest ridge near the base. From there, he could see the broken land, glowing faintly under the stars. He closed his eyes and listened. The voices in his head were louder now. Not angry, not hostile, just curious. "You are us," they whispered. "And we are you." Ryan whispered back, "Maybe. But we make our own future." For a moment, he thought he felt the wind answer him, soft and alive. Weeks turned into months. Humans began rebuilding faster than ever. They used alien metal to make stronger walls, alien energy to power small cities. Children were born with glowing eyes like Ryan's, proof that something new was beginning. Emily called them the evolved. Ryan simply called them the next. Humanity wasn't dying. It was transforming. One evening, as the sun set over the Silver Mountains, Emily joined Ryan on the ridge. "The stars look different," she said. Ryan smiled faintly. "Maybe they always did. We just never noticed." Emily turned to him. "Do you think they'll come back?" Ryan's voice was calm. "They will. The Seraph don't forget." She hesitated. "And when they do?" Ryan looked at the horizon, the glowing sky, the rebuilt world, the people learning to live again. "We'll be ready," he said. "They called us primitive once. But now." He glanced at his glowing hands. "Now we're something new." Far above the earth, beyond the clouds, a small blue object moved silently in space, a Seraph probe, recording everything. Its single red eye blinked once, and a message flashed across the stars. "Human evolution, successful. Phase 2, initiated." And somewhere deep in the darkness of the galaxy, something vast began to move. The stars shifted. The signal grew stronger. And the war for Earth's soul was only just beginning.